Good evening. This is the 18 WJTS News. I'm Charlotte Olson. Another member of the Du Bois County Sheriff's Department has made his intentions known that he will be gunning for the department's top position. 48-year-old Chief Deputy Tim Lampert of Jasper, in a release on Monday night, announced his decision to run Du Bois County Sheriff on the Democratic ticket in the 2018 election. Lampert, a 27-year veteran of the Sheriff's Department, was first hired in 1990 as a jail officer and was promoted to a road deputy in 1994. In 2011, he was appointed Chief Deputy. During his career, he has been involved in hundreds of investigations, including burglaries, accidents, and deaths. He is a certified general instructor and certified firearms instructor. He has trained hundreds of officers both locally and also at other law enforcement agencies, and at the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy as well. As Chief Deputy, Lampert has successfully obtained thousands of dollars from grants to provide equipment and extra manpower hours to assist officers in removing drunk drivers and drugs from our streets, an effort that increases community safety as a whole. He believes that he is an excellent choice to serve as the next Du Bois County Sheriff. Current Sheriff Donnie Lampert will finish his second term next year, and term limits do not allow him to run for a third term. An incident involving 3 people police say were intoxicated, one of which forced his way into a woman's apartment in Jasper over the holiday weekend, led to the arrest of all 3 involved. Police say a couple of them were wanted on warrants, and Jasper police say that just after 5 p.m. Saturday, they received reports of people refusing to leave an apartment located along the 500 block of Newton Street. The complainant told police a male suspect forced his way into her apartment and 2 other people were outside yelling. After officers arrived, an investigation found that 52-year-old John Kendall of Jasper had forced his way into a neighbor's apartment and then left the residence and returned to his own apartment. Kendall resisted upon being taken into custody, and upon identifying the 2 other suspects who were outside the residence, police learned that 44-year-old Thomas Clayton of Jasper was found to have 2 warrants out of Du Bois County. Police say that he resisted when officers tried to take him into custody. They say that while Clayton was being placed under arrest, 48-year-old Sharon Finley also of Jasper interfered with police officers and resisted when she was taken into custody. Police say that all 3 were in fact intoxicated. They were taken to and booked into the Du Bois County Security Center. Kendall was charged with residential entry, battery of law enforcement, resisting law enforcement, and also was charged with disorderly conduct. Clayton was charged with disorderly conduct, public intoxication, and resisting law enforcement. And finally, Finlay was booked for resisting law enforcement, battery on law enforcement, and public intoxication. Jasper police were assisted by the Du Bois County Sheriff's deputies. A Kentucky woman was taken into custody over the weekend after she was said to have attempted a theft from the Jasper Walmart store. Just before 10:30 Saturday night, officers with the Jasper Police Department responded to the Northside Supercenter in a reference to a female shoplifter. When they arrived, police found that Walmart Asset Protection had 38-year-old Shannon Kniper of Kentucky detained to be taken into police custody. No word yet on what was exactly taken or any of the dollar amounts associated, but she was charged with theft and booked into the Du Bois County Security Center. Oftentimes, natural disasters like Hurricane Harvey bring out the giving and caring side of people, but those who want to take advantage of the situation also come out of the woodwork, unfortunately. Indiana State Police First Sergeant Rich Myers says that state police have been contacted several times by concerned citizens, saying that they may have been receiving phone calls from those saying that they are state police representatives and that they are soliciting cash donations for victims of Hurricane Harvey. Myers said that state police are not soliciting funds for the victims of Hurricane Harvey and will not be contacting citizens by telephone requesting such funds. Myers says that thankfully none of the people that called to report the scammers fell victims to their claims. Myers reminds residents that if you are contacted by anyone requesting payment or money for an event or situation, tell them to send you information through the mail and you will review the information to help make an informed decision. If the call is legitimate, they should be able to send you the requested documents and information. Because phone scams have become nothing short of an epidemic, being aware of potential scams is a great first step in protecting yourself from falling victim to one of them. A traffic stop for speeding in Daviess County on Saturday evening ended with 2 Indianapolis men in jail on drug and weapons-related charges. Indiana State Police say that just before 7:30 p.m., a trooper was patrolling Interstate 69 around the 76-mile marker at State Road 58 when he observed a black pickup truck traveling south at 105 miles per hour. Troopers stopped the truck near the 75-mile marker, and while speaking with the driver, which was 32-year-old Corey Crater, the passenger, 31-year-old Keith Williams, both of Indy, troopers could smell burnt marijuana. A search of the truck revealed marijuana and a loaded handgun that was within reach of Williams. Troopers learned that both items belonged to Williams. However, Williams did not have a valid permit to possess the gun. Troopers also found that Williams was wanted on an active arrest warrant through Marion County for operating a vehicle while intoxicated. Carter and Williams were both placed into custody and taken to the Daviess County Jail in Washington. Carter was jailed on reckless driving charges for his speed as well as maintaining a common nuisance, while Williams was jailed for possessing marijuana, visiting a common nuisance, having a handgun without a valid permit, and on an arrest warrant through the Marion County Jail. The investigation of an infant who was airlifted to Riley Hospital in Indianapolis last week officially led to the arrest of a Linton man on a pair of charges. Indiana State Police say that after being contacted by the Department of Child Services, detectives with the department's Criminal Investigation Division at the Bloomington Post began an inquiry related to severe injuries sustained to a 9-month-old infant in Greene County. State police say that last Wednesday, 9-month-old Kalia Welsh was taken to the Greene County Hospital, unresponsive and having seizures. They say due to the severity of her injuries, the child was airlifted to Riley in Indianapolis, and the medical staff contacted the Department of Child Services for a review. Testing at Riley Hospital discovered that she had multiple skull fractures, which her doctor described as a cracked eggshell, along with multiple brain bleeds. The worst of the bleeds was to the back of her skull, where there was one on each side of her head, along with swelling. Police say that she also had several healing rib fractures. There were injuries in the lower part of her collarbone that were described by her doctor as non-accidental. There was also a fracture to her left ankle that was described as a classic jerk and yank abuse fracture. Police say that testing had ruled out any medical cause for the infant's injuries. Investigators learned from the child's father, 19-year-old Tasumba Welsh of Linton, had squeezed her before and also punched her in the head since she was 4 or 5 months old. Welsh told detectives that he would strike her in the back of the skull or on the sides of her head to make her stop crying. Welsh was arrested Thursday and booked into the Greene County Jail on level 3 felony counts of domestic battery and a level 3 felony count of neglect of a dependent. And make sure you keep it right here, because up next we're going to take a look at your weather summary.